Well, I'm out for a late night look at what we've been doing lately. You can't see much there, but actually we've had all of that cleared and the house is looking quite nice. I turned all the lights on just for a change. We don't see them unless we come out and make a special effort. Now we've had all of those pillar lights put on, and underneath in that little pool of light we'll have a nice plant in a nice big pot. When all of this is, you see, we've had all of this done and the electrical work is being buried going out to that post. So all of this is coming on now. It's more, as some people have said, it's too much light. Of course it's too much light. You can always have too much light when you first start. And if you have too much light, they have what I call light switches, and you can turn off the lights that you don't need, which is what I'm going to do right now, if I can find them. Yeah, that one there, and this one here. No, that's another one. There, we turned them off. So I've actually been over a little while ago, but I didn't really have very much charge on my phone, so I was afraid it was going to cut out. So I've charged it a little. I left the lights on. I like these concealed lighting. You get the light, but you don't actually see the source of light, so you get that nice band of light, and I really like that. So the thing about doing anything like this is, for some people it's going to be too big, and for other people it's going to be too small, and others it's going to be too white, and others it's going to be too brown. And in the end, you have to just say, it doesn't matter what anybody thinks, because they're not doing it. So there's a perfect arrangement, if you think about it. It's our project, and we do what we want, and we don't expect anybody to like it or lump it or whatever, and we let other people do what they want. So we're beginning to get there. Still got a light to go in there. Don't know why. Look. So we're coming on, and we're very happy with it. And it brings me not so much to talk about this, but while I'm walking around, I can actually show what we've done. So we can put on the lights in the room, and we can leave them on. But one of the things that has come up that has created a lot of interest, and rightly so, because of a letter that we got from some lady who, her husband, a foreigner, had died, and she was wondering if she could get his pension or something like that. And it brought up the subject. Let me see. It brought up the subject of whether a foreigner should make allowances for taking care of his wife when he is gone. Now, that's always, they always assume that the husband will go first, and we have found that this is not always the case. And in fact, if the Filipino wife goes first, it can cause a huge number of problems. One of which we found, which we discovered by being given the information by another subscriber, that in fact what is left in terms of assets, which can be termed the assets of the wife, will be part shared to the siblings. And if you think, in Beth's case, she's one of 10 brothers and sisters. If you think about that. Now, if that was assuming that everything was just hunky-dory between all of the siblings, that would be fine. And if it was always the intention to leave allowances for the siblings, that would be marvellous. But supposing in the case of maybe it's not, maybe there is no provision that is being planned for siblings. Maybe they don't deserve it. I don't know. I'm just thinking in terms of every possible scenario. This is our storeroom, of course. So there's every possible scenario. So I think, without going, I know that I have a how-to tutorial on setting up a foundation, a trust, before both partners, but before either partner actually may die. And that means that the estate, such as it is, will not be chopped up and given away to people that may be not deserving. So, Beth and I intend to do that with our estate, what we have, what we worked hard for, and we're going to do that soon, and we recommend, of course, that other people would do that too. So, that's one thing that has to be taken care of. Now, always there's always criticisms that come with any project that you do. In fact, that's one of the things that you have to allow for when you are setting up and running a blog, is that you will come in for tons of criticism. There's always a nucleus of people who make it their business to go and criticize. So you have to be ready for that and toughen up a little bit so that that's not going to unsettle you. That's my way of looking at that. So it also brings in, when people are putting forward their ideas about the way that you're handling anybody, not just me, a hypothetical person, and he or she is being criticized for not handling their finances right. My friend and another subscriber, Sean, his idea is to be solvent, and that is to be able to support yourself and to have everything paid for. Now, this resonates very much with me. I believe that you should live debt-free. Now, the reason I believe on that is because I've done it the other way, as I'm sure that most people have. Now, when anybody makes a criticism, an assessment of our ability to handle our finances, and they judge it by the way that they see things happening on our videos, which is a very poor way to do it, because you really don't know all of the backstory. Now, the way that we have done it is that we have not gone what I call the American way. The American way, and I have a feeling that one of the people that messaged very recently, and the criticism was that they felt above reproach because they lived within their means. Now, when people look at what Beth and I are doing here, and we're doing it on a back pocket, a back pocket, I'm switching off as I go. There we go. Sorry, I'm just getting over my pneumonia, but the cough lingers on, as so happens in the Philippines. So, So the person might be saying that they live within their means. And the statistics that I've seen for people in America living within their means is that a normal family, right, that means not someone who is particularly wealthy, just someone who the husband has a good job and is earning a decent wage and will be able to afford a mortgage, and they will buy their house on a mortgage which will run for probably 20 or 25 years. So they have a mortgage, they have a house payment. Here's a funny little statistic for you. What they have found, statistically, what they found is that when someone buys a house, now the American way, and I know this from experience too, the American way is to buy a much more expensive house than you can really afford. So there we go, gradually walking out. So you pay more than you can really afford. You go in and you're on a little bit on a wing and a prayer with all of the payments that you have. So you end up with a mortgage that you're going to squeak in on, of a house that you are absolutely delighted with, admittedly, but you'll also buy a car on finance. So I remember when I bought the house in Florida, and they had all kinds of restrictions before they would let me buy the house. I was an artist, and I did no documents. I didn't show any documents. They had this way of buying a house at the time where you didn't show documents, and you simply said you could do it. Now, it was only when the financial world went south that I lost my house. But as soon as I got in my house, which they were very strict on allowing me to do so, they sent me a check for $8,000 and said, it's yours. All you have to do is simply endorse it. Well, that takes you into fractional banking. As soon as you've done that, they can start loaning money on your signature, and that's a whole other can of worms. But what it means is that a family living within their means will be someone who has a mortgage and a payment every month, and they have a car payment, and then they both have to have a phone, and they very likely will have a credit card. And that credit card, statistically, certainly before I came to the Philippines, was $10,000. They would have a running account, a balance of $10,000, which if they kept paying just a few dollars over the minimum payment, would take them possibly the rest of their lives to pay it off. That's the hard fact of that. Now, in our case, should I, in my I'm not in my advancing years, I'm in my advanced, and I'm past my shelf date probably. If I were to go, there is no debt. Nobody can come and take the property away. We might not be able to do it on the same timeline, but we don't owe anything. We have a small account at the hardware store, nothing, and we're handling that, and even that will be paid off soon. So we don't have a car payment, we don't have a bank loan, we don't have any credit cards, we pay for things cash. That's what we do. And I think that is what should be called living within one's means. Now, I have two, as I've said on other occasions, I have two small pensions. I have a small pension from the UK, and I have a slightly larger one, but still nothing to write home about, I have one from the US as well. For the time that I put in there, I was in the US and became a citizen for over 20 years, and now I draw a pension there. And we can live comfortably on those pensions. So our particular definition of living within our means is no debt, everything paid for, no, sorry, I'm getting ready to go. So, no debt, no credit cards, nothing that can be taken from us, and an investment which, given time, I'm turning all the lights off now. Given time will bring in income, and it will bring in income. It will be a resort. So it won't be a place where only well-off people can come. It will be a place where people, the locals, Filipino families who are not rich, will be able to come, and they'll be able to go in the pool, and they'll be able to do the usual Filipino thing with little cottages, little nipa cottages, and they'll be able to come in and they'll be able to have fun, and it will not cost them the earth. So that's how we have decided that Beth will be taken care of. And for me to be taken care of in the unlikely event that anything should happen to Beth, I will be taken care of, because we will make sure that we have a foundation set up, which we will be doing soon. So that's our plans, and that's the way that we're working things out. So living within our means, yes sir, yes we are, and we're very happy with it. So I'll just wait until our little solar light comes on, if it so feels like it. Look at this. This is activated. Oh, I've got some lights that I've left on there. I'm not going back now. So thanks for looking in, and do subscribe, do comment, do like, and if you share, if you think there's anything of any value that has been talked about today and you want to share with your friends, then please do that, because when you start to share, it really does help us. So bye for now.